what's up? I am in New York at the Natural History Museum today, and I am bringing you guys a really special and awesome video. I thought today, since I love dinosaurs, I love skeletons, I love skulls, all that, I would show you guys the basics of sketching and drawing skulls. So we're gonna go over and do a couple of different dinosaur sketches and a couple different shapes, and I'll show you guys how to break down the shapes of different dinosaur bones. Okay, so for this first part of the technique, while I'm looking at the skull, I am going bit by bit. So basically I'm following each contour line of the skull and slowly drawing it piece by piece. Now this one is really heavily reliant on spatial connections. So then you see, okay, if the bottom jaw is this big, then the top jaw will go to about this length and maybe this line connects here. It's basically seeing where the different parts intersect on the skull and where they all fit into place. So like for the teeth, I was like, all right, they are this much of a distance in between each other. And this one is really good to develop for life drawing in general. So you can start to see how different things connect and what parts sit next to each other and how they sit on top of each other. So then for this next technique, it's more about blocking out the bigger shapes. So I'm still looking constantly at the T-Rex skull, which is really important. You want to keep your focus on it and just don't guess in your head. But for this, you have to block out the bigger shapes and then go in and start refining and adding the little details. So for me, I like combining both of these methods, but it's good to practice both separately so you can combine them later on. Okay, so when it comes to sketching full-body dinosaurs or full-body skeletons, you want to break it down into the bigger basic shapes and then go down from there. I kind of showed you guys two different methods of how to do that, but you'll want to kind of get the whole gesture in quickly and then go down and refine and do all the little details you can from there. Also, one thing to keep in mind, you don't need to get the whole skeleton in every sketch. You can sometimes get parts of it and like hone in on different parts you struggle with, like legs, arms, necks, anything that you struggle with in terms of anatomy, hone in and try to just sketch those. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down the bigger shapes and see where different things compare and line up with each other. So for example, the bigger hip bone, I'm gonna just block in really quickly. And maybe that's me, because I should. And then I'm gonna see where in comparison the rest of the leg bone comes in. So about the curve here on the hip bone, a little ways down is where the other leg bone comes in. And feel free to go back and refine and do corrections. I'm just sketching in pen for you guys to see, but you can go back and correct anything that you missed. And then we go in and we do the other part of the bone and just block it in roughly, do quick gestures, and then go in and refine. Then from there, I can go ahead and expand and add more bone, so I can add in some of the skeleton and the spine in the background, and see where it lines up with the other bone. And one thing you want to keep in mind is keep going back and looking at the actual reference. Don't just use your mind's eye. Always look back at what you're actually drawing. And there you go. We got just a hip with a little bit of the leg and some of the skeleton or the spine on top, just to get kind of an idea and rough in this part of the skeletal structure. Okay, so for this next sketch, I'm going to be getting the whole body and trying to do a complete body sketch. So the important part about this is getting the gesture down. You want to just get the whole shape down quickly and efficiently, and then go back in and refine and add the detail. Now that's something I'm going to drive home to you guys. When you are sketching skeletons, it's more to practice anatomy and start building an anatomy bank in your head. So your sketches don't have to be perfect. You just have to get the ideas down on paper to learn the anatomy of what you're drawing. Okay, so we're gonna try to sketch this little guy in this little somewhat quiet corner of the dinosaur exhibit, but we're gonna try to do the big long neck, the small model reference to try to draw the whole body. So we'll jump in and try that. So for this, I start off with getting the overall gesture and the shape of the overall skeleton by starting off with kind of figuring out where to place the head, the main torso, and the skeleton, and then from there I add in basically just very rough stick legs just so I know where they are. And then now that I have the overall shape and structure, I go in and add all the little bone parts. So again, I'm gonna nail it home to you guys. You gotta keep constantly looking at your reference. Don't just look at your picture and think, oh, I know what this bone looks like. Constantly look back at every single bone, because even in this one, I fall into that all the time, because this one, there was a part in the spine that I did that. I didn't look at the reference, and it doesn't look just like the dinosaur reference. So make sure to constantly look at your reference and rough and block in exactly what you see. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but this is a great way to really start building your mental bank, and you'll really start to learn anatomy quicker by doing this technique. All right, now that I'm done with the long neck, I did this technique again on this aquatic dinosaur. I should have wrote down the name, but I used the same general technique. I did a little bit more refinement on the skull shape before getting the whole gesture down, but this one is much more of a, I guess, S-shaped creature. So I wanted to show more movement, because I know the long neck was very much, it's just standing in place, but this one, they had it posed in such a way that it was moving. So I did kind of a combination of doing the gesture and also adding refined bits as I go. Honestly, there isn't like one for sure correct way to draw and sketch anatomy and skeletons and such. So really experiment with all these things I'm teaching you guys and see what feels right to you. I would say for beginners, really focus in on learning the essentials of how to observe and block out the different shapes. Like, that's a great starting point. But you know, after you start to get used to drawing different skeletons and creatures and just learning anatomy, you'll kind of find your own way on how you like to sketch and mold these different drawings. So, you know, experiment, try things out and see what you like. Alright guys, so that is all she wrote here at the museum. I think I got some pretty good sketches in. Sadly, my camera died, but we will continue this back at the office after I get back from my New York and Europe trip. Yeah, so as you guys can see, I'm still kind of new to the, I guess, filming on site. So this was my first out of office filming, not counting like vlogs and Comic-Cons and such. This was like my first art video outside of the office. So I'm learning a lot. I hope you guys still like this video. I'm learning a couple different things about sound, and I got a lav mic that I ordered not too long ago, so hopefully we can do more of these. But let me know if you guys like this and if you want me to do other off-site things. One of the ones I'm thinking of doing is doing animal anatomy by going to the zoo and sketching. So if you guys liked this one, let me know, and I would love to do another one, just probably at the zoo sketching animals. I think that'd be really fun, but let me know if you guys would like that. But yeah, so that's the end of this video. But if you guys want some extra content, you can go over to my Patreon, where I will be uploading a bunch of high resolution photos that I took at the museum. So if you want some cool like skull and skeleton references to add to your collection, you can download those by becoming a contributor over on my Patreon. So thanks again guys for stopping by and checking out this video, and if you aren't already, you can go and hit that subscribe button. I have new videos every week that range from, I'm hoping to do more tutorials in the future, and we do monster mashes and other art challenges, but I'd love you guys to join this little community. And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button down below and leave a comment. Let me know if you guys like this type of video and if you'd like to see more in the future. So thanks again, guys, for stopping by, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.